Good afternoon, very distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. First of all, on behalf of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, may I congratulate Professor Maloney and his colleagues on the establishment of the European Academy of Religion and its launch today. I will not repeat the sentiments, the thoughts and reflections of the previous speakers who have underscored the importance and the relevance of this initiative. I add, on behalf of the OSCE ODIHR, its good wishes for this very important initiative, and in particular its emphasis on an inclusive and collaborative approach to the fundamentally important question of the phenomenon of religion in today's world. From an OSCE perspective, this has particular relevance at this time in Europe because, sadly, not everyone accepts that social cohesion, the flourishing of society, and its security is possible in the midst of growing religious and belief diversity. Not everyone sees an opportunity to ground social cohesion, to ground security in cultural and religious diversity. Indeed, there is a view that some religions are extraneous to the identity of a people and nation and can therefore endanger social peace and cohesion. As you well know, this idea is on the rise, and it poses a significant threat to religious pluralism in Europe. Proponents of this view would seek to limit the right to freedom of religion or belief on the part of certain members of certain religious and belief communities in order to preserve traditional ways of life that are seen to be part of the national identity. This has profound and worrying implications for freedom of religion or belief. History has shown how popular majoritarian pressure, authoritarianism, and political expediency, especially when they are present along with xenophobia, prejudice, and racism, can corrupt the principles of the rule of law and undermine fundamental human rights. But equally, history has taught us that it is precisely at such moments when majority prejudice can overcome minority interests that universal human rights and principles associated with the rule of law, such as freedom of religion or belief, are not only vital to secure the rights of vulnerable individuals, but should also be embraced as an integral element in the advancement of society for all. The OSCE has engaged with religion and belief indirectly through its work on freedom of religion or belief, which is one of the original tenets of the organization. Principle 7 of the 1975 Helsinki Final Act's Declaration of Principles guiding relations between participating states pronounced. Within this framework, the participating states will recognize and respect the freedom of the individual to profess and practice, alone or in community with others, religion or belief, acting in accordance with the dictates of his own conscience. Together with other related human rights, freedom of religion or belief is a building block of the OSCE's comprehensive concept of security, namely that genuine and sustainable security consists of three dimensions: politico-military, economic and environmental, and human. Since the Helsinki Final Act, OSCE participating states have elaborated the most detailed and comprehensive set of standards pertaining to freedom of religion or belief of any international organization. These commitments are still very much an integral part of the OSCE's normative base. They remain the standard by which we assess, we evaluate the progress of the participating states on the long journey towards respecting, protecting, and facilitating the right of everyone to their human right, freedom of religion or belief. And it is ODIHR, the Office for Democratic Institution and Human Rights mandate, to assist the participating states to live up to these commitments, to help them ensure their domestic implementation. And this is what we will continue to do. The current situation, the increasing religious and belief plurality and diversity in our societies in Europe, invites us to think more deeply about a number of crucially important questions. Questions, no doubt, that will exercise the European Academy of Religion. One is the category of religion itself. We need to try and distinguish religion from political objectives and ideology, especially destructive and violent ones. We need to re-examine religion's place in the modern world and to arrive collectively at new insights about the contribution it can make to the advancement of the whole of society. It would seem that the Academy is well placed to stimulate this particular conversation. We also need to ponder more deeply on the human right to freedom of religion or belief in a way that is inclusive, to better understand how each person can exercise this right for the common good, how he or she can make use of this precious resource, this precious right, as a positive resource for the promotion of equality and non-discrimination, of tolerance, respect, and mutual understanding, the very structures of peace and security. How the individual right to freedom of religion and belief can give rise to the advancement of society would imply a reconsideration of our understanding of the relationship between the individual person and the collective. It invites us to deliberate on the concept of justice and how it is understood to the question of freedom of religion or belief. Why justice? Because justice binds us to our power of reason, a faculty indispensable to the exercise of our freedom of religion or belief. It compels us also to work for the benefit of humanity. It guides governments to provide an open constitutional framework in which freedom of religion or belief can be guaranteed for all on the basis of equality and non-discrimination. It also demands universal participation in the construction of open, pluralistic, prosperous, and just societies. It also demands universal participation in the generation, in the diffusion of knowledge, something, of course, which the Academy, the European Academy of Religion, is committed to, and that is particularly welcome at this time. These are some questions which we very much hope that the Academy will consider. Furthermore, it is timely also to think about what would constitute an enabling environment in which each of us can investigate, can discharge our investigation of reality and our search for meaning. How those conditions can be created, how those conditions can be sustained, both formally through educational processes and informally in other modes of interaction and organization within society. With these thoughts in mind, we greet Professor Meloni, his colleagues, and we look forward to the very important work that lies ahead and offer to the Academy our best wishes and support. Thank you very much.